of the Americas. All the way down into Argentina and Antarctica, all the way up into Canada and the North Pole. Lemuria. Big ass island. Nobody missed it. I promise you, nobody missed it. Path. Short credits equipment hub. So let's follow up with this. You've got DVDs that you want to drop, maybe a whole class or a course. Something that might be really cool is you sending everything on a USB instead. Plug and play. But it has a DVD menu. This is short credits equipment hub. So if you have a store of equipment that they can utilize in order to receive what it is that you're communicating, that. Think small profile, USBs. An app they already have, they don't gotta wait for it in the mail. Boop, that's easy, small footprint. You might send it in the mailer because you have a direct mailer. How about that? Look at this. Look at this. What do you notice? This is gonna have a lot of people very excited just by itself. But wait till you include anything else in it as a bonus. Don't we have a bonus over here? Hold on. You picked the mailer, right? You made it known. There's a short credits. Hold on, we're not done. That was page 2 in the mailer. And then over here, you got a whole PDF filler. And bonus number 5. The short credits and equipment hub. Right? But now you've made it available for them to partner with you. Remember? We saw the partner nuggets. Partner stack. You made it available for them to benefit by making money off of the partnership with you. Maybe 50-50. Okay? And then you come over here and you notice that there's more. So this might be an upgrade to what they purchased. But let them know inside of here. Don't make it a surprise, dude. That's a lie. Oh, and this is a one-time offer. You lied. You said this was all it was going to take. And that would have made my life easier. Because I got, you know, a family to feed. And I wanted to spend time with them. Make room for them. Spend time with them. Make room for them. Are sentence choices. You can make time for someone. And spend rooms with them. So, put it here so they can see openly what it is. If there are extra bonuses, they can check the newsletter. Put it right here so it says so. Yeah, you can offer it, but if you say that that's all that's included, oh, but there's another bonus, well then you make it very clear that this one might be 50 bucks. This one might be 75. It's a $20 difference, but you get the tool that you needed in order to make this run smoother for you. It'll help you out. It'll be worth the investment. This one might be $150, but it includes an additional step. You get one-on-one coaching and a phone call because you might need to ask questions, and you have that room to be made for yourself where you can sit still to hear the answers. You have to be able to do that. Not everybody can make room like that. Some have been where they're go-getters. They're gonna be able to do it themselves all the way up here. Comes with everything that they actually need because they just gotta scan it. Okay. They just gotta scan it. Scan it. Boop. These guys might want DVDs. Boop. But they also got stuff to come in it. Benefits. This one. These guys might want to talk on the phone in order to ask questions and get answers for their questions that maybe weren't already listed somewhere in here. Boop. And there's more in the newsletter and a button. Ooh. And then, not to mention, it speaks about the VIP, which isn't listed in here. Maybe you're a franchise owner and you just built your first franchise. Congratulations, by the way. I have to speak to everyone because, like, I realized while I was watching my own videos, and I enjoy my video diary because I teach me and I help me learn, you know, more about what I mean, what I'm saying, and like I also learn more about me. And certain things I'm like, oh, they're easy to correct certain behaviors and mannerisms and things like that because I'm like, oh, you know, or, you know, there's something that I learned from me, and it's not just like being critical this time. I used to be very overcritical of me. So, short credits equipment hub. You can do a lot with these. Put this to bonus 5, and say that's still right because here we go. Nature. Nice. Really beautiful. Gateway. Nature. To be able to collaborate and communicate and build together and you know, design new dreams. Pick an impression. Ooh, that's pretty stable for. Quality foundation, what do you say? Pick an impression. Offer. Sell futures. This one. Hidden in plain sight. Now, if you don't know what futures are, in one community, they're like, people are selling each other's futures. It's gross because it's an understatement. Grossly understated. At the opposite end of that is going to be stocks and bonds. Okay. Now in the middle, you're going to have a amalgamation of stuff going on in thought. That's important. Write them down. But also, don't go too far into adding new thoughts yet, because you'll want to write them down and free the space. Because if you think about it, where did that system line come from? Or system line come from? Self-future is a very Wall Street bear bull market lingo. So now that I'm very much aware of the difference in scope of another opposite way of seeing that, sell futures. So what you're trying to tell me is that puts and calls and all of that was applied to the spiritual community, and this is what's happening. In the spiritual community, people are selling other people's futures. Not everybody is without gift or gifts. But this is popular right now in that community while they're in their healing. They're right in the middle of their healing. So you can't get mad at them because they're coming out of all of the extra that was there. There was a lot of over-sexualized patriarchal energy running around in there. And it was affecting the not over-sexualized matriarchal energy, but the pain of the matriarchal energy that was reviving and finding relief and healing, but then finding new boundaries for herself, because that pain taught her how to grow in her pain, but with her pain and around, not to cover it up or mask it, but to actually like get through it. And she found an avenue to do so. But so what ended up happening was a lot of the over-sexualized patriarchal energy started to infiltrate with spiritual descriptions of words. In a dictionary online, they call it Wikipedia, you call it Urban Dictionary, you can call it whatever you want to. Okay? But they are using the lingo spiritual spouse. That is a no-no. That means somebody is trying to play God in your life and be that spiritual creature that comes in. But if they're not physically there, that means they can get married to somebody else and keep you on the line. That's a no-no to the matriarch, who is now very, very much aware of her own healing. The no-no. So, but there are still a lot of people online selling that future. Pay attention. They're selling that future. They're not only selling that future, but there are other ways of really looking at it to say that sexualized energy is being used to sell, and to sex sells. They're still saying. Okay? They're still saying that, they're yelling that, they're screaming that vibe-wise. And that was that Tinder app that I was telling y'all I didn't like. That shit really just, it burned my, I was like, in my head, not my body. It's not what I'm talking about. Didn't burn my body, nothing like that. I didn't use the app. But it made me feel some type of way about how it started out so beautiful. Tinder. It was a dating app. If you remember Together Dating out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, then you're very familiar with a higher quality, like matchmaking, not a game. Somebody that may want somebody to go and read a profile and speak to this person for them, an advocate. Not an escort, an advocate that would help them speak to other people that may or may not be like them, and maybe gauge whether or not they would be a good match. A mediator, if you will, almost. A counselor. An advisor. A guide. Some of that is really what was happening for Together Dating. It was. And it was not an app that you swipe that eventually turned out to be some sort of really over-sexualized, like, hit it and quit it site that I was like, oh, no, they did not. Turn that into that, just blew my mental. I was like, no more apps like that ever in life. And I swear off all of them, I wouldn't go log in. I did once, recently in the last 3 years or something, 4 maybe. I did once. And I thought I'll put it up in a different city and see what comes of it. Do you know I never opened that thing after that? I put it up. it was one time. I put it up in Long Island, New York, because I wanted to visit. I figured the moon would look the biggest right there. And Alfredo was a thing. Shrimp on the water. Jones Beach. I thought there has to be Jones Beach Pier and all of that has to have great food, and the moon has to be like the biggest right there on the East Coast. It's like, right? So I was like, that'd be cool. Yeah, I never made it that far for getting there. But I also never opened the app again after I finished the profile. I was like, oh, that was pointless. I wasn't going to go on there anyway, apparently. Why didn't you delete it? It's still my profile. I just don't have to do anything with it. It's like not logging into Facebook if you don't feel like it for a year and being okay. And them not saying, we're going to close down your account. No, there's supposed to be a lifelong accountability there. They started out in their original policy. Your videos and things will not get deleted or lost. And will have a lifelong home so that your family can look at some of the archives of pictures and things that you used to have. And it was like a museum, if you will, almost. A living museum. It was supposed to be digital. It was big. It was like Wikipedia had restarted and everybody that was in it was like, yes. And then it just kind of got more social. And more social, and more social, and people started creating them to just create them, but they weren't putting the attention into them. They were using them now as sales tools, and prerogatives were that if you had a personal Facebook and you were on it, you might be just running a business, on it. You might not be doing anything personal, but there are a lot of people who still use it for personal, like Messenger, and I don't use any of that. I have to archive all of my photos and stuff like that, and I log in every now and again just to make sure that it's up to date, but still mine. Still my intellectual property too. But this is different. This isn't saying sell somebody else's future just to a group of people and say that it could be one of them. Collectively, yeah, it could be any one of them. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. Your soul will hate you. But if I come over here and I look at this, it could be future seating. These could be seats, sponsor seats. So now it just says something a little different. The whole reason I even go off on tangents to express any sort of expression is because some of these human experiences that I have really had have had such golden nuggets in them, you just can't help but want to share what they were to some degree. Products. Uploads. Nine uploads. Me. You can do I plus, plus I, or plus 1. Choose. Enough time. Choose. It could be the A side, the B side, the C side, the D side. You can keep going. There's a whole alphabet going on right now. Them hugs, though. Be yourselves. Be sponsors. A whole group of them. Don't just sell people's futures. Like, your gifts are within you. Each individual one of you. It's not that you have to sell somebody else's story to someone in order for them to heal. And then trying to do individual reads and feeling like maybe you missed a step or something. No, I don't do those. That's not what I do. I'm just very much aware that I saw it with my own 2 eyes on YouTube. I watched it happen over 2 years. Just individual people that started as a day one on YouTube. Like, I just found a video and I just watched, and I had the button to get the bell, and you know, and listened, and all the while I found that in real life there were a lot of people doing this thing, this style. But as I got to know people from where they are in their videos, a lot of them had some really gorgeous life lessons they remembered that they experienced, and they would share them in their own tone of voice, completely different from whatever it was that was given to them in an education of how that system was and runs and looks and sounds, and there's all kinds of different amalgamations that are in there. The patriarchal sexualized energy running around rampant, and I'm like, I don't want to see nobody show up on camera in the tub. I have a hard time enough because I show up in my house coat, and I'm like, but I'm also fully clothed, and I'm completely wearing it, but it doesn't matter. I just put my good sweater on. Okay? Change up. I'm just not okay with that. So, don't forget to add your sponsors. But all of that is in there. And in the midst of, there's a whole line right here. There's a whole line, and it's all going on, swirly, swirly, swirl. You know those little bally thingies, and you go like that, and it's got the glitter, mica sparkle in it. It's super like gorgeous, smooth, metallic. You know, when you do like that swirl in a line though, like in front of you, like if you're looking at one line, and you went like that, and you can see just details, just swirly in the middle. That's what you're looking at. Okay, so don't think I'm going like this. Don't think I'm like saying down. I'm saying the swirl is happening at this point. I can do these. Okay, the swirl is happening at this point. And that is in there, and so that's why I said I don't want to just wear my house coat, because I got tired of seeing people show up on cameras and they're like trying to do something that's supposed to be very like specifically serious. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is the tarot community. They call themselves spiritualists. It's okay. Everybody's in the category of the tarot community Okay, so tarot community, that's the community, and that's what I'm saying. Gorgeous message. Can't watch the video because I'm like, first of all, you're over-sexualized, you need attention, energy, vibe, like you juicy, trying to be thirsty as fuck. That's the word I'm looking for. Not juicy. I'm sorry. Thirsty. And I was mad when they changed what the word thought meant, or love. I was like, stupid, Tinder. Why did you let them sway you on that? You guys were doing so well, and then you let that be like the thought app. I'm like, what is that? It took me 5 years to even get to the sentence choice word structure thought. THOUGHT. How did they miss it? No, it wasn't. It was THOT. That hot something thing. I don't know. That hoe over there. If I'm hearing all the extra. Okay, so I was mad when that whole word choice changed up and it meant something completely different. I was like, man, y'all, the generations have changed over and over again so many times for different reasons. Alright, so it's all in there, and that's something that has been used on top of the educations that were supposed to have been like, people got pretty too. People felt that comfortableness about them, and so they weren't afraid to put on a nice little cut shirt. But that got taken a whole different direction for so many. But the education was still very good. But now you had to dig further and harder in order to even see like the forest for the trees, which is